everybody. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm running a bit behind. I just finished setting everything up. Hi Sue and Jamie. Andrea's here. Pat's here. Louise. And Miss Liz. Thank you all. Thank you all my Patreons, Ko-fi supporters, all of my YouTube memberships. If you're not a member of the YouTube channel or supporting me on one of those other platforms, Ko-fi or Patreon, files are, I do some files for you guys, for the general public. Those come out on Fridays. Tonight we don't really have a file. Mondays are strictly supporter files only. I had a couple people ask me those questions. So Monday night videos, those files are strictly for my supporters. Wednesday nights we usually do a file and I give some sort of file to one-time supporters. After that, then you have to become a monthly supporter to get those Wednesday files. But tonight I wanted to cover the joy because, as you all know, that I've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks with the passing of my aunt. And so I've been trying to get caught up. And I wanted to do this video on the joy last week, and I just wasn't able. I did a quick unboxing video, and that was all you guys got. And so a lot of people have been asking, you know, what are the benefits and things like that. And I thought we would go over those and answer your questions if you haven't gotten answers already. And we're going to do a couple of projects and just watch how quick they are and see what the little bug can do. So put your questions in caps, and that way the moderators will see them and they can answer them, and we can show you on screen here. And you may see my fingers or my keyboard here every now and again because of my limited space for doing this type of a project. And we're doing side by side. It's something new that we're doing so that you guys can see everything that I do in Design Space and on camera at the same time. So let me get rid of all of those extras on that screen. You guys don't need those. There we go. So here is my little bug, and I did get the case for it. I did purchase mine. I got mine from Michael's before my aunt got so bad, and I got my accessories and stuff from Cricut because I was going to do that quick unboxing. But the little case has plenty of room for you to put your Cricut in here. It even shows you which way it goes in, and then you can put your cord and everything in there. And that does come out. That divider comes out if you want to take it out and lay it down. Has a little pocket in it. Hopefully I can get that on camera for you guys. Has a little pocket in there if you want to slip some stuff in, your extra blades and stuff. And then you have a pocket on the back where you can stick your card stocks, things like that, anything that you might want to carry with you. So nice little case, very well made. I'm just going to tuck that out of the way. And you can see the little bug here. Don't mind my other stuff. We may use some of that. In comparison to my mouse. And that is a Mac mouse, Magic Mouse. So you can see how tiny this little guy is. I mean, I can just about cover him with my whole hand. Yay, we have a new channel member. Welcome, welcome. So when you open the little guy up, you can see you have just one adapter here, or carriage for your blade. Your pins, everything go in there. And right now, the only thing that you should be putting in there are your pins and the blade. And this blade changes out just like your blade does on your Makers and Explorers and your Air machines. You just depress the top button and pull that blade out. It's magnetized, and then you replace it with the new blade. So all you're going to do is I just depress mine. I don't know if you actually have to depress it. Drop that blade in and let it back out, and then your blade is going to stay in there. You just drop it in. There is no pressing down or anything. You don't want to do that with this machine. For your pins, things like that. I'm just going to pop something out here. Your pins for your Makers and your Explorers. I think I saw this question today as well. None of your tools from your other machines will fit this little bug, guys. This got to set it up and hook it up from that, and if you need that video link, just let us know and we'll get you that. Then the next thing you want to do is just plug it in, because this does work off of Bluetooth only, guys. There is no USB cord. It is Bluetooth power only. And I'm just gonna grab my cord and plug this little guy up so he's ready to go. And then you're just going to plug it into the back. I'm just gonna set that out of the way so we don't have to deal with it. Right here, you're just gonna do that. Power light's gonna come on and it's going to be ready to go. That's how quick and easy this one is to set up. Yay, welcome to Cutie Collector Sue. So now let's go over to Design Space. As you can see, I've been working in my maker. So up here on the top right, it has the maker machine showing. This is your family of machines, and you need to select the one that you're going to be using. So in this case, we're going to be using the Cricut Joy. So I'm going to pop over to some projects, and we're going to pick one. I need to make a birthday card. So you can see all of these cards in here, and if you guys want to time how quick this is, just imagine I'm stopping and talking and all of that. If you don't have to do all of that, it's going to be much faster. You're going to go in here and pop these cards out really, really fast. So, and I've seen a lot of people say, well, you can't write on the inside. Well, you can. And we're going to show you that here tonight. So I'm just going to scroll through, and I had glanced in here once, maybe twice. And I saw a card that I thought, well, I can make that one. That one should do pretty good. Because I had a lot of cutting on it, and I wanted to see how fast that it would actually cut. Was a cupcake. Did I already pass it? Didn't think that I did. There's the cake. Maybe I didn't pass it. There it is. So that one had quite a few cuts on it. So I wanted to see how quickly we could actually cut this card and maybe time it and see. And you notice that there is no customize button. You can't customize these cards. They're meant to be quick, on the go, spit it out. So I'm just going to click on Make It. And I got several of the card packs here, but we're going to use, I think, this one with the glitter. I don't know. The holographic is pretty as well. Maybe we'll do the holographic one. Some of them have 10 and some of them have 12 inserts to them, guys. And we'll go over that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get this card started and see. Now you have a couple of mats. You have your regular mat, and you have your, that is 12 inches long. You also have your blue mat that's 12 inches long. But we're going to be using the card mat, okay? And we'll cover this in just a minute. I'll open that one up and show you. I've already opened this one. It has a protective sheet on it. And you're just going to open up your card insert and pull the whole sleeve out. Just like so. If I can get that plastic acetate out of my way. There we go. Going to pull that sleeve out, and then you're going to decide what you want to use. Oh, these are pretty. I hope the camera is picking this up for you guys. Do you see that texture on there? Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Let's see, now I have to decide on a color. I think I'm going to go with red. Let's do red and silver. Why not? So, with this mat, you saw that I peeled that protective cover off. You have a plastic sheet here, and your fingers can go behind it. We're going to take our card, and you're just going to slip that right behind that top layer right there. Get it lined up on your mat. Get it in there straight, and then just press down that front. It's not going anywhere, okay? And over here on Design Space, we're just going to click. We're going to check everything. I've got on the card mat, there are several mats. Without a mat, that is for your vinyl and iron-ons. And then you have on the mat and on a card mat, and this is the card mat. So we're going to select that. I don't need to mirror anything. And I'm just going to hit continue. Now you see that I have this pushed into the machine already. When I hit continue, I have to take that out because it's not going to do anything. Now it's telling me that it's connecting to my Joy. I'm going to select my cardstock. And that is the insert. No, that was not the insert. That is, yeah. You only see let me stretch that. Maybe you guys will pop in there. Glitter, shimmer vinyl, medium cardstock. I guess it is the insert. I'm just going to pick that one. That's the one I'm going to pick. The insert card. It's about the same weight, 80 weight, so that's what we're going to pick. I just stuck that mat into the machine and it auto feeds. Now you want to leave enough room behind it so that nothing hits. I'm just going to move my cord out of the way. There we go. And then on the screen, you can see down here on the right, we're going to hit go. And it says it's 7:12, so let's see how quickly that this card cuts. You can see all of the cuts in it. And this is one of the ones that has tons of stuff in it. And I'm just going to kind of set it off to the side so you guys can still see it. And we're going to talk about the pins. The pins are 1.0 on the gel tip. And you can see those are pretty fat tipped right there. Makes a good line though. I'm just going to, no, better not write on the back of that. That's going in the card. How about on the envelope? Now you can write on the envelope. I'm going to show you guys that as well. But it has a pretty heavy line for these gel pens. Okay. Then you have the other pens that are a 0.3, which is usually what I use when I write on the inside of my cards. Just because I like the finer points. I can lose an envelope. But you can see here the difference in the heaviness of the writing. One is a little finer than the other. So when you're looking at your pens, make a choice on which ones that you guys want to use. If you're doing something on the inside that's really close together, your letters are close together, or a design that's really intricate that you're writing with, you're probably going to want to use fine points. Now, if it's spread out, you can get away with these heavier points really, really easily. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting pens. Now, I said that these some of them have 10, some of them have 12 inserts. And that is, the difference is in your inserts, guys. The ones with the nice, pretty, fancy inserts, we're only going to get 10. You can see these are the glitter, and then all of your basic ones, you're getting a couple of extra. So look at that when you're buying your cards and the colors and stuff that you're picking. If you're wanting the fancy stuff, don't worry about it. If you want to do the one that has 2 more cards, you might have scraps big enough to cut your own insert. So you can totally change these out. Just because they come in the packs don't mean that you have to stick to that. Okay? You can swap them around and make these your own. As a matter of fact, before I cover the other stuff, I got this for $2.99 a couple of years ago. I think at a Tuesday morning. And these are just cards that are pre-folded already. They have the score line on them. Guess what? I can pull that right out of there and fold it in half, and I have a card for my little Cricut Joy. And I paid $2.99. Now you could probably still find this. It has 18 designs, but I got 36 cards here, and I paid $2.99 for it. That's it. A Tuesday morning. So there are options out there. You can find 4x6 papers to do your inserts with. These are white glitter, but you can print on these. So, I mean, there are tons of things that you can use. These are 4x4, and these are 4x6 as well. And then these are papers that are 4.5 by 6.5, and you can always trim those up while your cards are cutting. So if you're one of those, because personally, I like the Cricut. I like the weight of them. I like all of that. So yes, I went out and bought a few packs because so many times I've needed a really fast card, and I ended up going and not making the card because I simply didn't have time. With the Joy, now I have time. I can make those, and I don't have a problem. If you're in limited space, you can do that. But there are other options. I've seen a lot of people say, that's too much money, I don't want to spend that on the cards. Now that finished cutting, and it's 17 after now. So I'm just going to go over and hit unload. And we're going to unload the card from the mat. But there are options out there. You don't have to buy the Cricut ones. There are options out there. You just want to make sure your sizes are what will fit your mat. And I got a few little chads hanging on here, but they're pulling right out. It's not like it didn't cut. It cut perfectly fine. So you're just going to knock out some of those. Get those out of your way. And I have that on every machine that I do, especially with these little intricate cuts like this. I have the little chads hang on. Pick those out because I want my pretty paper to shine through, but I'm not going to put my pretty paper in yet. Just going to get all those away. I'm going to clean this mat just like I do my others. Just going to use my scraper and push that stuff right off my mat. Clean it right off. Okay? And now I'm going to take my card because I want to write on the inside of it. And I'm going to fold it back the other way so that the inside of my card is on the top. And then we're just going to slip that cut portion into place. And we're going to fold that back. Now you ask, well, how are you going to write in it? Because you can't customize. We got you covered. So we're just going to hit finish over here. And guys, I'm going to show you too how you can do these on the maker before I go to the next step for the writing. If you're doing this on a maker, if you notice, the cards come up for the Cricut Joy. If you search the Joy, this is all categories, but if I switch that over to maker, it's not going to, some of them may not be there. I didn't do an extensive search, but I was having a hard time finding these cards to cut on another machine. So while I've got it set on my Joy and I pulled all of these cards up, you can select the card that you want, or actually you don't select the card you want. You just go up here after you've selected your Joy and you've gone to the categories for the cards for it, whatever. I'm going to swap over to Maker. And I'm still going to grab that card and I'm going to hit Make It. But you see my Maker is up here in this top right corner. So it knows that I'm going to be using my Maker. And now I have a 12-inch mat. I'm simply going to slide my pre-cut card, which we will do one on my Maker really quick while I'm setting this up for writing or working on it. I had those cards. Where did I just put those? Oh. If you're using something like a pre-cut card or even one of the Cricut cards, I'm not actually going to cut this. You're just going to open it up and you see that I moved that all the way to the right. I'm just going to put this on my mat all the way to the right instead of over to the left. And now when it cuts, it's going to cut on this portion. Does that make sense? Is everybody with me? All I did on screen was I moved this all the way to the right of my mat, and I've put my cardstock all the way to the right of my mat. Okay? And now it's going to, I forgot, did we move this over a 1/4 inch, guys? Some of you that have already done it, Louise, did you guys put that on that mark just a little bit for that 1/4 inch that Cricut has to allow for cutting? Did you guys use that? And okay, that's what I was just asking. Thank you, Jamie. And I use the guide right here. That's probably a 1/4 inch. Is that the 1/4 inch or the 1/8 inch? I always use my mat. I don't use this. I can turn it around here and see. You guys may not be able to see my marks on the mat. Let's see. About half of that. So you can go in just a little bit closer right here and right here. And then it's going to cut where you need it to cut. Okay? Yeah, just a tad over. I'm probably a little too far. About half as much as what I have. I think I have it on the 1/4 inch. It's where I have it right now. So just make sure that you are getting about half that width. Just bring it in slightly, and then you can cut this card right here on your maker. So you guys aren't left out with wanting to make these cards, okay? You can still make them. So let me cancel that. And let's go in and just do a new project. And all I'm going to do is insert a square. I want a shape. And I am going to make that just whatever color you want to make it. I'm just going to make it pink so you guys can see it. And I am going to size that to 4.5 by 5.5. Yeah, 4.25 by 5.5. That's what it is. A2. So let me stretch this out just so you guys can see. Right here on size, I'm going to unlock it and make that 4.25. I'm typing sideways here. And then on my height, I'm going to make it 5.5. That is the size of the card itself, not the insert, but the card. Okay, and I'm going to go over to my images, and I'm going to select, let's just search for happy birthday. And maybe use my, let's do phrases, see what I can come up with. That one works right there. Happy birthday, something quick and easy. And then I'm just going to insert that image. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure that it fits nicely on the card. I might want to make mine a little bit smaller. That looks good to me. And then I'm going to hit make it. Oops, no I'm not. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to switch back over to my Joy. I'm going to hit make it. You should still be on Joy with yours. And I am going to use, for pre-folded cards again, you can select, so if you're doing it on an insert, you can select whatever mat that you're going to be using. But I'm just going to click done. And now my happy birthday is up here, my card's down here. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to move that object just over to my pink mat. And that's just so I can see it better, and that's why I make the colors. And if you're cutting more than one mat, you can tell which one is going to be the inside of your card. If you just pick a color and stick with that and know that when you're doing cards that that's the inside of your card. And I'm just going to eyeball that, and that looks like it's pretty much centered. Now I don't want it dead center. I want to have room down here to write my sentiment, or maybe even add some embellishments, or a sticker, or something like that. So I'm going to put mine closer to the top and just kind of make sure that I have it about the same amount of space on each side. Now I'm going to click the card, and I'm going to hide selected. Now I have no card on there. And we're going to hit continue. So I'm going to come over to my Joy. I'm going to remove my blade. And I'm going to pop in my pen, and we're going to close it. And then I'm just going to select insert card. And then we're going to load that. That's all done. And we're going to put that in there, and it's going to suck in the card and begin writing. I'm going to give it a little room there. I'm out of space here. So you can write on the inside of your cards with your joy. I'm going to hit go. Make sure it's stuck to my mat. I didn't press it down good. And guys, cleaning these mats, Cricut does not recommend cleaning any of the mats except the purple mats, which we all know. I'm going to say that you can clean these with a baby wipe and get the sticky back. As far as washing them under cool water or using a thing of soap, with these card mats, I'm going to say don't do that, because water is going to get in between that area and it may not dry well, and that's going to ruin your cardstock. It could mildew, it could mold, all that kind of stuff. So washing them probably isn't a good option with these right here. So if water gets up in there, then you're going to have issue getting that dry. And if you hold it out till it dries, it may warp that, if that makes sense. Having that held out like that until it dries might warp this board and your card won't sit flat. So if you're going to clean these, just use a baby wipe. And now that has written on there, guys, and that just didn't take maybe a minute. I'm just going to close my pen up, put my blade back in so I don't lose that little guy. And then we're going to go over here and unload the mat. And we're going to pull that card off. Now, even with me talking and showing you guys stuff and everything, this has taken us a total of 16 minutes. So if you take out all the time for the extras that we did, you probably made this card in maybe 7 minutes. So you do have time to do these. And then you're just going to put your insert in those 4 corners. I call them photo corners, whatever. I don't know what you guys want to call them. Insert corners, photo corners. And now my card is absolutely complete and ready. Pop it in an envelope, ready to go. Now, if you want to decorate this up further, of course you can do that. You can add your Nuvo drops or sequins. If you want to glue this down, you can. If you want to write a sentiment on the back side of your insert, you can do that as well. You can, just tons of things that you can do. So, anybody have any questions on those? The outer surface is magnetized to hold the blade on the I haven't had time to play with mine, Paula. I really don't know. I haven't looked at anything. I don't know what you mean by the outside. Do you mean on the Maker? We know that the drawers on the Maker are magnetized. Or do you mean your spare blades? Is that what you mean? This is like the absolute, maybe third thing I've, on the right side here. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So over here, I don't know where you guys are saying the outer edge. I just dropped my old blade. And mine's not sticking. To the right, to your right or my right? There it goes. I just let it roll and it pulled. I got it. I see what you mean now. I figured if I let it go, it might go, and it did. Yours only sticks to the door? Well, that's where mine stuck. I just let it go and let it roll. And it finally just latched on there. Good to know. Thank you. I learned something. Thank you very much. Mine are backwards too? Oh well. Oh well. I'll have to live with it. No wonder. I was trying everything. I know that the maker doors have, a lot of people don't even know that there is a drawer in the maker. So, right here, doesn't stick. Right, mine's right there. It does there on this side too, but not in the middle. Not sticking there. Okay, I got you. It should stick to the machine except in the spot where the part of the door would hit. Gotcha. But no. Okay. I can live with it. It's okay. But, yeah, guys, the materials for these things. Now, Cricut doesn't recommend it. I'm just going to tell you, Cricut does not recommend it, but I did it just to test. And I took a sheet of 12 by 12 Cricut vinyl. It was not Oracle, it was Cricut, the new Cricut with the... Let me just show you. I can show you easier than I can tell you. My Cricut vinyl, the one that has your plastic-like backing, okay? Some of the people reported they did it and it cut into the paper on their oracles and things like this. It cut into the paper backings. But I did split a sheet in half, and I was able to use my Cricut removable and my permanent vinyl without a mat in the machine. I'm going to say it again. Cricut does not recommend that. Your vinyl can go sideways. It can cut into the backing. And if it cuts too deeply, it could cut into the decking of your machine. Mine did not. I cut the Cricut vinyl with no problem. I had no problem with it and was able to work with it perfectly fine. Don't even know if I still have it. These are the ones that you can tell the Smart Vinyl has the green grid. I cut these during my demos and my unboxing. But you can see that these are very, very thick plastic-like. And I know that some of you had mentioned that you didn't want to spend the money on the vinyl. I like it. I actually like it. I like the backing. You can use it on your makers and everything else. But you can use it in your Cricut Joy without the mat. And that's the thing. So if you figure in the cost of mats versus the cost of the vinyl with the Smart Vinyl and the size already cut down to size for you, guys, it's still, I mean, 5.5 by 48 on the labels. It depends on the roll of vinyl that you buy, but figure it out. It's still pennies per square inch. It's still not that much more than your other vinyls. And it just seems like a lot because you're buying it on a roll that's already sized up and it has the protective backing on it to protect your machines. But I'm loving this little guy. I could take this guy. I don't know, you can, with your maker and stuff, you can't get a 10-foot roll and cut it on your maker. The max you're going to cut is 23 inches. So if you're at a craft show or you're maybe set up at some kind of a rally or something, you might want to do car decals or something like that. Windshield across the front of the windshield. Guys, this is perfect for that. It's absolutely perfect. Here you are, cut it on the spot, so let them apply it, or you can apply it, charge extra. You've got your transfer tape, you've got your vinyl, and you can cut this in one piece instead of in 3 or 4 pieces to go across that windshield. So there are tons of things you can do with it. It's not just the cards. There are lots of things that you can do. I said that the only thing that I didn't like was that the iron-on didn't come in bigger sheets. And then Jamie pointed out, it's still 24 inches. That's a pretty good size, like for the leg of a jogging pant or the sleeve of a sweatshirt. 24 inches probably is big enough. So you might be able to do it. It depends on where you want it to start and stop. At most, you might have to cut 2 pieces. So it still beats the long piece on the maker for portability. We are talking portability issues. So if you want to do just that quick card, don't forget that you have the smart labels in a roll, okay? And then you also have them in this. And I'm redoing my kitchen right now, so I'm about to make labels for mine, and I will show that to you guys. I don't have them laid out right now, so I can't show them to you. I don't want to waste my material just cutting anything, because I may need the 4 sheets that I got in this. Don't forget that you can get them on sales. When they start putting them on sale, you can still use your group codes and get that 10% off and your access discount as well on them. They are not included in the Cricut Access sale that's going on now, because they just got released in the 90 days, so that your access discount of 40% that's on all the other materials is not going to apply to these. Not yet. It'll probably pop out there soon, but not yet. And don't forget that if you're an Access subscriber right now, you can get the bundle, the Joy, with a bunch of the materials. What is it, $184, guys? And it's only for Access subscribers. So that is the deal for the Access subscribers, and it's a good deal. So does anybody have any other questions? Anything you want me to try to cut or do with the Joy that we haven't seen yet? Do you want to try to design a card and see how that goes? Using one of the other mats? Because you could cut your rolled flowers on scrap papers out of these too. That might be a thing to do. Let's just try this. Let's go to images. Let me grab my keyboard. Let's just see what pops up here. Oh, I've got it on Joy. I just want to put it on, I'm going to put it on my maker. Then I'll change it to Joy. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it's still searching the same, no matter what machine you have. I searched earlier and it came right up, and now it doesn't want to do it. I had one right there at the top. Let's just kill that altogether. Just got a flower shop. Let's cut this guy. I'm just going to get rid of this. We don't need that. And I'm going to change this over to my Joy. And what happens if you get too big for the Joy? You're going to get your caution sign. Okay, and it's going to tell you 4.5 by 48 is your max. And I know you're probably all saying, well, I thought you could do up to 20 feet. You can, but it's 48 inches repetitive. So you would have to do it 4 times and get that uh, on there, that 20 feet on there. So it's a 4 foot image repeated 5 times gives you the 20 foot. So let's just take that down to, what is it, 5.5 max? I haven't played with mine at all. I think it's 5.5. Nope, it's going to give me the 4.5 wide. Okay. So let's go to 4.5 wide and let's hit make it. And let's play with one of our little green mats. And you get one of these with the machine. The card mat is separate unless you get the bundle. I think it's in the bundle. And I am just going to, I know this isn't double-sided, but I'm just going to use this piece that I had. No, I'm not either, because it's too wide. There's a way to fix that. So if you have your scraps are perfect for this. Even your vinyl scraps, guys, from your maker. I just used my trimmer and trimmed it up really quick. I don't care if it hangs off the end. So I'm just going to put that on there. And I am going to, I probably cut that wrong because I'm just going to say I'm using any material, any mat, and I did. I should have cut it at 4.5. That's where I was getting confused. It's 4.25 cut, but your material 4.5. Is that correct? Do I have it right now? That's right. The cut is 4.25 and the material is 4.5. So we're just going to hit continue and grab our material. I love this. I wish our makers had auto load. I think I'm gonna go to medium cardstock on this. That to me is totally worth it. That auto load. You had to look at your mat. Well, it's new to all of us, so it's going to take us a little while to get used to everything that we can do. And we're going to be discovering new things every day with these machines, guys. So, play with them if you have them, and, share what is going on with yours. I just wanted to see how fast it was going to cut this rolled flour. So if you've got a ton of scraps, you can be rolling and cutting at the same time. So all of those little bitty scraps that we were not saving, we're probably going to start saving now so that we can cut them, all of those little bitty decals out on here. That was pretty quick. I have to say that was faster than my maker. I'm still not used to clicking unload to get it unload. There are no buttons on the machine. But that was absolutely pretty fast. Should have put that on my blue mat, but I didn't. It cut, but I didn't pull it right. Tore that part of the paper. Not bad at all. How many of you that cut flowers thought that cut faster than your makers? I think it did. It's hard to say though, because I only cut one, and usually we're cutting a whole 12-inch mat. I thought it was faster though. I still thought it was faster. Stuck to my mat there. I tore it. Super, super cool, super fun. Yeah, Sharon, if you're making the little bitty ones, you could cut several off of a small mat, or even the 4.5 by 12. You could cut several flowers off of this mat, but you saw how fast that cut. To me, it is faster. So, does anybody have any design space questions? It doesn't have to deal with the joy. Doesn't have to do any kind of questions that you have. If you're new, ask your questions. We're here to show you right on screen and make sure that you get answers. I apologize, Guy. I forgot to move that logo for you, and I will do that as soon as this live is over tonight. I didn't realize that it was in your way until somebody said something, and then I forgot to move it again. Oh, yeah, that's about right, Jamie. I think that's pretty accurate. It cuts as quickly as the maker in fast mode. Design a card for the joy. Okay, we can do that. How about a flip base? We did that on the other day. We did a flip base. Let's just do a flip base. So the first thing you're going to start with when you're designing a card, of course, is going to be your shape. And we don't have a score line with the joy, but we do have a line, okay? Oops. We have a line right here, and that's going to be a cut line. You can see that it comes in as a cut. That is the only option, cut or draw, that you have in your line types for your joy, unlike your maker where you have more, and then you have the score, draw, and cut with your airs. So it's going to limit when you have your machine family selected as to what kind of lines you can pick. But there is a way to write to print and cut instead of having the maker write it out. Yeah, you can flatten your for print and cut, flatten your font. You can do that, Paula. I'll show that to you. So let's just get our base, and we know that the maximum width is going to be 4.5. So we're going to make this 4.25 to go on our 5.5 inch base. So let's make that 4.25, and then we're going to need the 12-inch mat for this instead of the regular mat. You're going to need your 12-inch because 4.25 by 5.5, that's going to be what, 11 inches? Is that right? 5.5, it's 10, 11, yes. Oops, I forgot to unlock it. So now we have a 4.25 by 11. And I'm going to take this line and I'm going to rotate it. Since we're not on there, I'm going to stretch this out so you guys can see it. Let's make this base yellow so that you guys can see it on screen. So now I have my score line, my cut line, and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. I'm actually going to change this to draw, and let's make it red so you guys can see it. And I'm going to make that 4.25 wide. And you'll see why in just a second. I'm going to align that center. There is the center of my card. So to do that flip base, I need more cut lines. So I'm going to get my shape. I'm going to get a cut line. I'm going to bring that over, and I probably want that to be, I don't know. Now guys, don't quote me on this because you'll have to do a test and check your sizing. 1.5 inches seems awfully big for an A2 card. Let's go to 1 inch. So I'm going to place that score line there. Cut line, not score line. up to my draw lines. That looks... just going to line them up as wide as I think I need them to be. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm going to select them both. I'm going to line to the top, and I'm going to attach those. Okay? And now I am going to align, no I'm not, I'm going to get another score line, a cut line. I'm so used to calling it a score. It's going to take me forever to break that habit. I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. And it needs to be, that is 2.889 wide. So I need to resize that to 2.889. So it's the same width. I'm going to select that cut line and the two cut lines I attached. I'm going to align bottom and align center horizontally. And then I'm going to attach that. I'm just going to bring that right up to that draw line right there. I'm going to select the card and the cut lines. I'm going to align them center horizontally, and I'm going to attach. And now I'm going to get rid of my guideline, that draw line that I was using. We can't score on the Joy, but we can still make a card like this and score it ourselves. So let's go ahead and cut this one. I'm going to hit Make It. And you can see I'm going to need my 12-inch mat. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to use mat for any material and hit Done. Slide that over so you guys can see. And now I need a piece of paper, right? I'm going to grab a sheet of my Cricut cardstock. Actually, no, it's not long enough. I have some Anna Griffin papers that are like 9 inches long. So it depends on the card. But if you have cardstock or scraps that are already cut, you can use those for things like this. And I'm just using my trimmer, guys, in case you didn't know you have an arm out here to keep your cardstock straight. You have storage on the bottom here for your blades. We're just going to put this on the mat. And let's see, that is going to be the inside of my card, so I want my texture to the outside. And you'll want to put this on your mat straight, because we're not cutting, well, we are cutting the outside. So just get it as straight as you can on there, because you don't have a lot of room for error. And then we're going to hit Continue. It's going to ask me to select my mat. I'm going to say, or material, medium cardstock. That's not in there. There we go. Let me move everything from behind. I've got my trash from the other back there. You may not be able to see the front because I had a little piece, it picked up a piece of that. I'm going to hit Go. I have to give this one enough clearance. Maybe I can do it that way to go in that area. No. It's hitting my computer monitor. Here we go. Oh no! It hit my cord and I pulled my cord out. Well, now your guys are going to know what to do if that happens. I think I'm going to run mine under the machine towards the front and see if that helps. It caught on my cord. I thought it was getting caught on other stuff back there. Just going to say, okay, we're just going to reconnect. Hopefully, it cut some of it. Hopefully, it'll still cut okay. And hit Go. It cut part of it. I probably should have put a new piece of paper on there, but I'm going to live with it. It may be off slightly. Actually, I may have gotten lucky and cut in the exact same spot. That was total luck. And of course you can put your writing in here because we are cutting this card. Under those cut lines I will show you guys is actually the inside of this card. Okay. So now it's done. I'm going to unload. I mean, I got really lucky and it did cut right in the same exact spot as it did the first time. So if you're going to be writing, I'm going to hit finish and take you guys back. If you want to do a sentiment or something like that, your text can go right here and it will be writing on the inside of the card. But because we don't have any score lines, we have to score this ourselves. And I'm simply just going to push that little insert out, bring these edges together on the end, and then I'm just going to press it. Now, of course, if you don't have this cutout, you're going to have to press it the other way. But now you have a flip card cut on the joy. You just have to decorate it up. So, super simple, super easy. The only thing that you can't do, guys, is you just can't score. But you can score them on your scoreboard. You can fold it just like I did and then press your line in it. You can get your bone folder. Mine is on this desk in this middle of all my joy stuff somewhere. Use your bone folder and press it down. But this is the flip base that we used on Monday. Doesn't have all the extra panels and all the goodies in it, but same principle. Yeah, to make a print cut. So let me show you that real quick, Paula. Let's make this bigger so that you guys can see it, because that might get confusing there. So if I wanted to make the text print and cut, I could make this say whatever I wanted it, and then I can align it and put it on your card. Now it's not going to let me do that because this is too big, but let me just get rid of that. Let's just get a new square that we know that is in the print and cut parameters, because we can't print and cut 11 inches. So let's just say that this is my card insert that I want to print and cut on. We know that white is a color that doesn't print, so we're going to make that white to start with. Even if you're printing on a colored cardstock, then you just insert your colored cardstock into the printer. Now, if you want it to be a specific color, you're going to have to make it a specific color, and it will print that color on white cardstock. But you're just going to insert your text, and you can align. We're going to have to go back to our maker here. I'm going to align that center horizontally and then flatten right down here on the right. Let me make my back of my canvas different color, because if not, it's going to disappear on you guys and you're not going to be able to see it. So when I select both of these and then I click flatten, now it has flattened my text, if you look in the layers panel, to one layer. So my text is going to print and then it's going to cut the square, rather than cutting it out of the square. If I have another layer down here and it says print and this says cut, then it's going to cut the text out. You have to have one layer. If you want to go back, let me just go back and undo everything. If you want to do writing, we used to be able to flatten writing. I think we still can. I don't know. Yes. And then you can flatten the text as a thinner, smaller text. So now it's going to print it just like that because it's flattened. You can see one image, and now it's going to print and cut that as well. But the Joy cannot do print and cut. You're going to have to do the print and cut on your maker or your Air. because if you go over, you can see I put this on the Joy machine. Anytime that you have an issue that it won't do, if you see this little caution sign in your layers panel, if you click on it, it will open up and tell you it's not supported by the Joy, and it's telling you what part of it isn't, and the print is what is not supported by the Joy. So if I had designed that on the maker to cut, let me unflatten that and change this to no fill. If I had made this a wave cut, and then I had selected these and flattened them, it's going to do this text and print on there, and then it's going to cut, but it's going to cut wavy. But if I go to my Explore family machine, that might be a glitch. It's not supposed to be showing. It's supposed to give me a caution sign, but it's not. It is on the Joy, but the Explorer is not. It's not supposed to accept that wavy cut on my Explorer. Let me just try something here. It might error on the next. No, just print and cut. It may have eliminated my wavy. Before it would do that. That might be something we need to bring their attention, Jamie, because it either eliminated my wavy line, my wavy cut, or the air is not recognizing that it's set on a wavy cut. Let me unflatten. Okay, it's set on wave. Select, flatten. It's eliminating my wavy cut with the flatten. I could have swore I cut something on a wavy cut that I have done a print and cut. Maybe I didn't. Maybe we just don't have that option. I learned something else tonight. So did that answer your question on that, Paula, about flattening text? Because I frequently flatten and do print and cut for my text on cards. To me, it's just, it comes out nicer, and I don't have the start and stop of the pen. It just depends on what my card is for. If it's a wedding card or something like that, I usually opt for print and cut on a panel and then glue those panels and emboss them and everything else. Yes, you are good teachers. Your questions keep me on my toes. So I could have swore, has anybody else cut a wavy on a print and cut? I could have swore that I had done that before. But now flatten is taking away the wavy cut. Maybe we can get them to look into it. Okay, if nobody else has any other questions, I will see you on Friday the 13th. Ooh. Yeah, the pens, when they're writing, they will leave the dots where it stops and starts. But if you use your print and cut for your panel, make a panel and layer up your cards, you won't have that problem. And if you need to see examples and stuff, I have some cards that I did print and cut with the panels. But you just glue your panel in. You do your print and cut, do it out of the same paper as your card base, and put a pretty color panel of a larger size behind it on the card. Dresses it up really nicely. Yeah, well, and Jamie's right. If you do it, and the gel pens are not as bad as the markers. The gel pens are really nice. They do a nice job. The markers are the ones that I have the issue with the dots. I don't get them nearly as bad with the gel. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about your Joy or your makers or your airs or design space, put them in the groups and let us get you going. Don't sit there stuck. Make sure you ask. We're here to help you. Thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and Ko-fi and my YouTube memberships. I greatly appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you Friday, 7 p.m.